composting researchers at the Institute of Waste Management and the Institute of Soil Science launched a project in the Republic of Guinea, West Africa, based on a simple concept. Together with the partners of Service National des Sols, abbreviated Senasol, a small, decentralized pilot composting plant was designed and set up. The project was funded by the Commission for Development Studies at the Austrian Academy of Sciences. The guiding idea of the Commission was to answer scientific issues and meet goals in development cooperation. Applied cooperative research projects were carried out in association with partners in less developed countries. Furthermore, scientific institutions and donor organizations were duly informed to enable them to answer questions of development cooperation in a scientific manner. On this basis, our project in Guinea started.
Where is Austria actually situated?
Here you can see Austria, and here is our country.
Which country is bigger, Austria or Guinea?
The West African Republic of Guinea is approximately 3 times bigger than Austria. Guinea has about 10 million inhabitants. 2 million live here in the capital Conakry, located on a protracted peninsula on the Atlantic coast. The climate in Conakry is tropical with a rainy season. Life expectancy is about 50 years in average. 40% of the population lives below poverty level. Guinea stocks about 50% of the worldwide bauxite reserves. Bauxite serves as raw material for aluminum production and is one of the most important export commodities of Guinea. More than 70% of the population works in the agricultural sector, but only 25% of the gross domestic product is produced in this sector. Do you want to know where the composting plant is located in this big city? Let's watch the film.
The pilot composting plant is situated 25 kilometers outside the center of Conakry in the district of Ratoma in the quarter Sanfonia. This district lies on the outskirts of Conakry near the border to agricultural districts. Here, large and continuous agricultural areas are available, which enable people to practice peri-urban agriculture. The main crops are maize and rice, but other fruits and vegetables like manioc, sweet potatoes, peanuts, cucumber, eggplants, paprika and onions are cultivated. In addition to operation of the composting plant, also compost quality and the impacts of compost application on maize yields were assessed. Researchers from Senasol, the National Soil Research Institute, were trained by the Austrian researchers in the theoretical aspects and practical implementation of composting. Workshops were carried out in cooperation with a female cooperative carrying out peri-urban agriculture in Sanfonia. The goal of the workshops was to train the women in compost production and application. The major goals were to produce good quality compost in a small facility with low technical efforts and low energy input. The next step was to construct a composting site for the female cooperative to enable the women to produce compost for application on their own fields using simple techniques and low energy demand. After the selection of a suitable site, the composting plant was constructed. To this regard, the following criteria are particularly important. Appropriate road access to the plant for the transport of feedstock materials by trucks is useful. A flat plain area above flooding level near to the fields where compost will be applied is required. Water should be available on demand for addition to compost piles known as windrows. A river or lake nearby, an adequate groundwater level or precipitation storage basin are useful for this purpose. In the construction of composting sites, several requirements will be dictated by the local climate situation. If there are long periods with high rainfall or lengthy rain seasons, as in Guinea, several protection measures against high humidity inside the composting material should be envisaged. In the case of low rainfall, protection against high evaporation is the first target. In our case, we decided to build a roof to protect against rainfall as well as against the strong sun. What construction details are required in building a composting plant? A delivery area where feedstock is controlled and, if necessary, sorted. A storage area for bulky material, for example elephant grass, to be stored after grinding until use as a structure material. A surface protected against rainfall for building piles and windrows. It is most important that leachate be allowed to run off rapidly. A leachate basin should be provided to allow subsequent use in wetting composting materials. A surface for final treatment of compost, like sieving or packing. A surface protected against rainfall for storage of compost. A lockable shed for tools including shovels, watering cans, wheelbarrows and so on. It also makes sense to use the shed for compost storage. A well. And last but not least, a fence around the whole site.
Sorry, I didn't get that. What is important to look for?
Typical. You think of nothing but food. The composting site should be situated near the fields where compost will be applied later. A source of water, for example a well or a river, and protection of the windrows against rainfall and sun are very important. This protection can be achieved by a roof or by covering piles with palm leaves. Feedstock materials should be controlled and if necessary sorted and ground. To avoid thefts, the finished compost and tools should be locked in a shed. Pay attention now. Now they will tell us what happens during composting.